Today's topic is about knots. Knots is knowledge, new, old twists. So knots was established based on the idea of encouraging children to get off their screens or devices and onto the outdoors. So today we have Ms. Jolene and Ms. Norshidawati to unravel their concept of vanishing classroom and its benefit to learning. First of all, Mr. Jolene Koh is the co-founder and CEO of KNOTS, a learning and development social enterprise that champions quality and inclusive education for all through education for sustainable development. Ms. Jolene is also a marine scientist by qualification. Her love for environmental education spurred when she started her consultancy career, which eventually led her to education to sustainable development with WWF Malaysia for more than 9 years. At WWF Malaysia, she also developed a passion for designing and training young environmental stewards and leaders, which led her to KNOTS. About Ms. Noor Shidawati, she's the co-founder and chief strategist at KNOTS. KNOTS works with community builders to empower children and youths in underprivileged communities. Ms. Shida is also an English teacher by qualification with 22 years of experience. In WWF, she was instrumental in establishing the Eco Schools program in Thailand and the Philippines. Ms. Shida was also the national coordinator for Foundation for Environmental Education programs for Malaysia. So without further ado, let's invite Ms. Shida to start today's talk. Over to you, Ms. Shida.
Thank you, Prasanna.
Shida, you can start screen sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me just get my screen ready. Okay, let me just confirm. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. And a very good evening. And thank you, Prasanna, again for the very warm welcome. And as mentioned, I am Noor Shidawati, you can call me Shida, and I have with me today Jodin, my co-founder. And we are here this evening to share insights on the concept of the vanishing classroom and its benefit to learning. So this is the concept that we coined in operationalizing KNOTS community engagement programs. So before I go any further, so Jolene and I will be doing a tag team in this presentation. You'll hear from me in the beginning and at the end. I will leave Jolene to present the fun part. So a little bit about us. I think Prasanna has introduced us. Just to let, okay, let me just, sorry. And just to let you know how we started KNOTS. One day back in 2017, we decided to join forces and start something together. So before that, we always wanted to start something on our own separately. So one day we got together and say, why don't we form something together? Hence, KNOTS was born. So the rest they say is history. So next one, what's our mission? So as you know, we are a learning and development social enterprise, and our mission is to build community resilience by preparing the younger generation with knowledge and skills on sustainability. So what's our story? So both Jolene and I, we both grew up in the 70s and 80s respectively. So we spent a lot of time outdoors, and where being outdoors was still safe. So the environment and its surrounding were our classroom. We make the most of what we find in the surroundings, so playing hopscotch and making mud cakes. So having gone through the local education system makes us want to give the opportunity that we had to the younger generations. So KNOTS is about providing quality and inclusive education aligned to goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals. As the name suggests, it's about bringing back the traditional approaches that works during our childhood, innovating and integrating the new teaching and learning approaches in our design. As we have witnessed, not all children thrive in the education system. And that's where NOTS comes in. Over to you, Jolene. Jolene?
Sorry, my mistake. So good
Okay.
evening, everyone. Okay, so now you all can hear me loud and clear, yeah? Firstly, thank you again for joining us this evening. Thank you for the invitation. Okay, that being said, I actually have two questions for everybody. All right. No, so now, next, Shida. So look at the picture in the screen. Okay, the first question is, have you seen this comic before? So give me the feedback, yes or no. You can type it in the chat box. So have you all seen this comic before? So in the chat box, type yes and no. All right. So Bernard has seen it. PDG Liu have seen it. Kok Yijian has not. Ken so one. Tita have not. Kenzie C yes. Prasanna no. Okay, we have I think a balance of yes and no. I from okay, no, Tiago also no, Gopal also no. I think if you have not seen it, I think you consider lucky, I guess. All right. My second question. All right. Now, have you been in this situation before or have you all experienced it? All right. So in the chat box again, you can type yes or no. The second question, have you all been in this situation before or have you all experienced it before? Yes or no? Okay, there are 1 yes, 2 yes, 3 yes, 3 no's, 4 yes. All right, no. I think we also have about quite a balance of yes and no's. All right. So for myself, I have to answer yes for both. I have seen this comic before, therefore sharing with you. And of course, I also have experienced to be in this situation before. Okay, so I have one saying here by S.J. Harris. The whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows, right? So actually this is, for me, this is a reflection of our education system. The education system that I was exposed to back when I was still a student, okay, it is very compartmentalized. Okay? It is very rigid and it was not experiential. So if you do not fit in, you will be left out unless you have other opportunities and other avenues, to pursue your future. I used to feel very left out in class somehow or rather. Somehow I learned very differently from my classmates. So therefore, NOT's mission as a social enterprise cater to those who can't climb trees, right? So next, please, Shida. I would like to request for everyone to take out a piece of paper, okay, any piece of paper, and also some pens and markers, whether it's colored or not. Can just take it up, right? Okay, everybody ready? If not, I think I give you a few seconds to grab a piece of paper and some pens and paper. Okay, pens and paper, a few color pens. All right. So another question for everyone. What is the ideal education system to you? Okay, so since we are all talking about education, and then some of us, we are feeling like a fish in the glass bowl asking to climb a tree, right? So now I would like you all to take 2 minutes, okay, to draw a symbol that represents your ideal education system. Next, Shida. Okay, I give you all 2 minutes to draw a symbol that represents your ideal education system. Okay. All right, 10 more seconds. Put in your last brush, last stroke to perfect that symbol of the ideal education system. All right. Thank you, everyone. Now, I hope that you all have completed. If not complete, never mind. Wow. Let us all see the symbols you all have drawn. Maybe you all can put it near, show us, carry up and show us. I cannot see. Maybe Shida, you need to unshare. Wow. Wow, Bernard. Look like a school badge. I have to put in front of my face to be able to see lah, huh? Oh. Ah, K Murtis. Nice. Kenzie, wow. Can see a tree and other children there. Ah, P DG Liu. A lot of question marks, left, right, up and down. I am very, very curious now. Okay, maybe y'all can just quickly take up. Shida will maybe take a snapshot. Have you taken? Yeah, you have.
I've taken. I've taken. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, awesome work. I find very, very different and different variety of education. Your ideal education system. Now, I have a request. Can we have one volunteer to share about the symbol that they have drawn? Explain to us why you have drawn such. Do I have a volunteer? Yes, PDG Liu, I see you unmuted. You want to share?
Yeah, to me, my education, when I'm also one of the students that the teacher don't like me at all because I always ask questions. Everything I ask, they are so irritated with me. That's why I don't fit in the box. So I've always been made to stand on the chair, and I'm always out of breath. I'm always late. I'm always late late in submitting my schoolwork, and but they don't appreciate what I'm having the problem. But when it comes to the exam time, I did well.
Understood.
That's the difference. So to me, I think the education that we shouldn't be restrain the student from asking questions. That I show everywhere, wherever it's in the arts class. For those days we have the art
Science.
class and the science, and most people look down on people with arts. They say,
Yes.
oh, art class are the dungu people, all the science one are the dungu. So they say, so there's the thing, and that's how I'm also have my early education in the Royal Military College, where I'm asked to, when the teacher wants you to stand attention because that's Royal Military College. You don't ask questions in a military setup. So when you comes up, you become more confined to your own world because you're brought up in that way, you're conditioned that way. So I find that now education should be more liberal. Everybody should have a chance to say what they want to say. It may be even not the norms, what the teacher wants and everything, rather than just follow the norm. That's how I feel about education. Thank you. That's how.
Yes, I actually feel you. That's how I was when I was young. When I ask question, the teacher just cannot get me. He said, kenapa murid ini selalu tanya soalan?
And
Look
they
at
find
me
us
and
a
say,
nuisance, they say.
and especially maths, I said, how do you derive and how do you come to this? Nobody can answer me and say, ikut sahaja. I was like, okay. So that's why I say I learn very differently from my peers. So I understand it's very hard, if you do not fit in, and if you do not have any other avenues. If let's say my parents are not well to do, I don't get a chance to further my study, and I won't be here today. My family is not very well to do, but then by studying hard, by getting some, our parents lah, they'll do whatever they can. So I am fully, how to say, I fully studied in the public system up to the university, all the way public. So I have no qualms about our education system, the education blueprint. No, it's there. It's actually the individual and opportunities. So enough about me. All right, so how do you all feel about drawing? I'm sure some of you all have not drawn for a very, very long time. So this may be your first time after many, many years picking up color pencils and start drawing, doodling, you may say. Actually, drawing is one of the tools we use to communicate with our students. Okay, and we love to ignite these senses. We have visual, we have the auditory, we have the touch, the kinesthetic, smell, and even taste. So when we run our programs, we will ignite all these senses to make sure that no student is left out. Because some students learn visually, some are not. Some are very kinesthetic or very auditory. So we cater for all, a balance. So drawing is also not like writing. So anybody agree drawing is not writing? Say yes. Okay. Drawing is not writing. Say yes. Okay. Drawing is not writing. Okay. All right. I get 2 yeses. Okay. Yes, they are not writing, but it is a tool to enable someone to express. Okay. You do not need to be literate. You can still express yourself. So, and this is already the bridge to bridge the first literacy barrier. So a lot of people, once they do not know how to read or write, they already form that barrier. But if you use drawing, this is to break this barrier, the first barrier to a learner. Okay, so drawing, no right, no wrong. Yeah. So that's why I asked, why do you draw question mark? Because every stroke we put on, it's our own interpretation. So there's no right and wrong to it. So therefore, this is actually a level playing field for everybody. So you can tell me you do not know how to draw, but there's no such thing as you can't draw. As long as you can draw 1 line, 2 lines, okay, that is drawing, because that is how you express yourself. So here at NOTS, we value very much the tacit knowledge that a learner has already have in them. Okay, so besides that, of course, we'll give them or let them gain new knowledge, but we value tacit knowledge. So because this allows the student to relate even better and immerse themselves in the learning process even more, right? So when they are immersed in the learning even more, they will remember better, they will decipher it better. So Albert Einstein once said, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life, forever, believing that it is stupid. So this is what the Vanishing classroom can and will provide for those who can't climb trees. So, and now Shida will take you through the journey of our Vanishing classroom. Thanks everybody for playing.
Thank you, Jolene. And thank you for a very interesting session. Okay. Okay. Where did we get our inspiration from where the Vanishing Classroom is concerned? One is the story of Toto Chan. It's actually a story about the little girl at the window by Tetsuko Kuroyanagi, a Japanese, which tells the story of an unconventional way of educating children. So, and also we are big fans of Totoro. If you know Studios Ghibli's work, and our inspiration comes from the cat Pass, a character from Totoro. So these ideas is not new. I'm sure you have heard of the mobile libraries, the mobile interactive centers. So our concept of the vanishing classroom is giving a new twist to an already present approach to teaching and learning. So this is how a vanishing class or a mobile center, learning center would look like from inside. And this is our translation of how our vanishing classroom will look like. So this is how we set up our classroom in urban parks or forests with low tax and high touch. There's a saying that goes, if Muhammad can't come to the mountain, we will bring the mountain to him. So the same goes with the concept of vanishing classroom. It is the concept of bringing the education or outdoor learning to the community nearest to you. And as mentioned, this is actually a borderless teaching and learning approach. And we can, as I mentioned, we can always bring it to anywhere, anytime, or we can set up classroom anywhere. And our tagline is, by the end of the lessons, our class disappears, but the lessons remains. So it sets it apart from the traditional approach. We work with, what sets us apart from the traditional approach is that we work with communities long enough for them to be empowered and for learning to be impactful. So it's not a one-off event. So I'm just going to let you in on some secret ingredients of the component of the vanishing classroom. So here's a secret, a sneak peek of our ingredient. Empathy is the secret sauce where we practice across the operations of our program with a learner-centered design at the core. And at the design phase, we apply design thinking approach. Again, if you see the processes, the key formula, one of the key formulas is empathy. And while at the implementation phase, we implement accelerated learning approach, again with empathy as the key formula. So hence, this is how we operationalize our programs, and that's how we base our design on. And as all businesses, we were also impacted by COVID. As the introduction suggests, initially not started because we want children to get off the screen and into the outdoors. So and one of the things that we do is that we want to utilize the surrounding as the teaching and learning aid. But come COVID, we make the decision to pivot, and we are both certified virtual facilitators. Hence, we converted all our face-to-face engagement to online and expanded the target groups to include adult learners. And what we hope to do after COVID, our plan is actually to offer hybrid programs, a mix between online engagement and face-to-face. And our specialty is that definitely when we do capacity building and when we do training, it's about knowledge and also skills. And we focus on topics on environmental literacy and cultural understanding. And some of the skills that we emphasize on is entrepreneurship, photography, communication, leadership, and storytelling. And moving forward, from today, we are calling for collaboration. So if you have a specific community which requires engagement, such as capacity building, reach out to us. And at a personal level, we are calling you to reach out to your own community, which is within the vicinity. I'm pretty sure that Rotary has that, especially during this challenging time, and offer help and expertise. And also we'd like to also share what's coming soon in our program is that we're organizing a storytelling program. It's for children between the age of 7 to 9. And it's on the 18th September. If you're interested, please reach out to us. Okay. So we have arrived at the end of our presentation. It's actually Q&A session. So I understand we have a few minutes to do that. And if you're interested to know more about our program, please give us a follow at any of this channel. And you can also subscribe to our website, and you can get a hold of us through our mobile number. So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shida. Thank you, Ms. Jolene.
Thank you,
welcome.
Prasanna.
Members and guests, do you have any questions for Ms. Shida and Ms. Jolene?
Yeah, I'm Rotary Shanmugam.
Yes, hi, Rotary Shanmugam.
Yeah, what is the so far achievement that has been done?
Sorry. Hi, Rotarian Shamugam. Achievement in which part? Maybe you can let us know.
Like I saw the sorry, I saw like the photos that you all conduct the classrooms.
Yes.
So in the middle of some area. So what is the achievements that so far has been done?
All right. So for that,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. So that is actually pre-COVID, right? Before 2020 lah. So we were, this is actually a community in Damansara Damai. So they are B40 youth. So we work with the NGO there to capacity build this group of youth in terms of entrepreneurship and also leadership. So we train this group of, they are called Brigade Hijau, Green Brigade. So we train them so that when NOTS leave, they can train the younger children. So what we had there was, what was the achievement there is those children after our training realized that they can actually do much more than what they can present. So their situation or their situation or circumstances before we enter, before we go in, is because they are in the B40 community. Yes, they understand study is important, but because of family circumstances, they may need to help their parents, in their business, selling kueh in the morning and things like that before going to school. And they only know that. So after our training, they gain more insights, or they realize other platforms or opportunities that they can tap into, to break out from the poverty cycle. Besides, just helping their moms in the morning, they also realize that it's important, to have their education and also collaborative engagement with friends. Because when we teach them, not say teach them, when they share with them about entrepreneurship, it opened up a lot of doors for them, a lot of windows for them. So that was one of our very, very small achievement pre-COVID. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
We have a question here from PDG Leo. Cannot be adapted for learning of special needs children like autism. We have not worked with special needs children like autism before, PDG Leo, but what we do is that one of the essence of NOTS is that we can design the program based on the needs of the learners. It's learner centered, so hence it's got to address the learner's need. It's something that we would like to try, and even before we start designing, we do need to understand how autism learners are and what are the criteria and behavior before we start designing the program. So I believe that it can be adapted to special needs children.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mishida. Anyone else has any questions? I think.
Ms. Shida, I saw in your website, your program involve like cultural understanding, environmental communication, and storytelling. So usually, how long is the program like? Is a one-off or less? It's a period for that.
Shida, you want to take it or you want me to take it?
You can, yeah, I can add on, please, Jolene.
All right. So our programs are designed bite-sized because children's attention span is so that short. So we have a lot of pocket-sized programs. Like for example, just now when Shida shared Siapa Jolina, so that is our approach is storytelling, but it's actually public speaking and also confidence building program, self-discovery program. So it's only 1.5 hours long, but it's just the first bite of a long program. So we actually have a few series, but every 1.5 hours we have targeted objectives that the participants can achieve, and we can see a bit of achievements from that 1.5 hours. So when we design, so those like Siapa Jolina, those are public programs which we open to public. But if you are talking about community programs that we work with our B40 communities, so of course that one we will, when we design, we have a stipulated like 4 months or 5 months that we will work with them. So in these 4 to 5 months, we'll ensure that all the objectives or the outcome will be reached in these 4 to 5 months time. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, cool. Oh, thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Shida.
Thank you. If there's no further question, can I call upon Notarian Shanmugam to thank the speakers? Notarian Shanmugam?
Yeah, sorry. Actually, I'm driving. I would like to thank, on behalf of the Bandar Sungai Petani Rotary Club, I would like to thank Jolene and Shida for this Vanishing Classroom forum. Actually, I'm also concerned about Toto Chan on their how to say on their methodology. So I was also so impressed on that. I really hope all the guests, Rotarians, attend this forum, benefit from what Jocelyn and Shida present. Thank you very much for both of you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shanmugam. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.